The text messaging part of Grower's Edge is very handy because every day I'll receive a text that shows me where the best local market is.
That's what I like about Grower's Edge too. It gives me the information I want on my smartphone so that if I'm not in the office, I still get the information that I need.
Good afternoon, welcome to GrainTV. It's February 19th, 2014. I'm Logan Burgess. To my right here is Brock Shimano to help break down a mixed trade day on a Wednesday in Chicago. Let's jump into the quotes here and see where the grain settled. Corn was up 4 1/4. Soybeans, the only grain closing lower on the day, off 6 3/4. Chicago and Kansas City wheat kept moving higher, up 8 1/4 in Chicago, up 6 3/4 in Kansas City. Brock, let's talk about beans though here today. As we know, bean market has been exceptionally volatile, and in today's action, we saw a sharp move higher, followed by a lower close on the day. What's going on in beans right now?
You know, Logan, you're right on with the volatile trade that we saw in soybeans today. We went up and hit 13.71 3/4, the highest point we've hit since September 3rd. I think what originally got the selling started was some news out of South America in the precipitation that was going on there. If you take a look at these weather maps provided by Planalytics, the map on the right is a precipitation map. Brazil in the overnight, or during the overnight, we saw about 1/4 inch to 1.5 inches. Pretty widespread coverage of rain there, about 40% coverage for most of Brazil. Argentina, similar story, about 1/4 inch to 1.25 inches of rain, 30% coverage there. So very good rains. But I think what we need to be looking at here longer term as far as precipitation and weather is concerned for South America is going to be that precipitation. The 5-day forecast is for about 1/2 inch to 2.5 inches of rain, 75 to 80% coverage over the next 5 days. Yep. So substantial precipitation hitting those areas that are in dire need of precipitation here recently.
Yeah, you know, it seems like the day-to-day weather forecast continues to kind of push this bean market around. But today, let's take a little bit more of a long-term look. Right now, we're looking at a weekly chart of the March soybean contract. And you can see here, this yellow shaded area is basically the range that this contract has traded since it's been on the board. You can see that the highs of this contract were actually made back very early in the trading days of the March 14 contract back in about September of 2012. And then once again, you can see highs were retested during September 13 during the summer dry period where it really put a rally into the bean market. And with this rally now that's really been helped higher by export sales and some concerns out of South America, you can see that we're once again testing the high side of this very long-term weekly chart range. And I think that when you're looking at this, if you're still holding old crop beans, it's a time to kind of sit up and take notice that these are some very good prices relative to what we've seen throughout the last 2 years of this contract. And anytime you see that situation with a large South American crop on the horizon, I think it's a time to at least consider making some cash sales when we're here at the higher end of the old crop bean range.
You know, the old crop beans have really been the leader to the upside, but today we did pull back just a little bit. One of the reasons driving old crop beans more recently has been private analysts really backing off on their anticipated production for South America. Yeah. Today we saw Oil World, very well thought of analysts out of Germany. They actually cut Brazilian beans, they anticipated production by about 4.5 million metric tons a day. So that was just another one in a long line of private forecasters that have really cut old crop anticipated production for South America. We're starting to turn our attention here to new crop, anticipated production, and planting. The USDA is going to be releasing some figures out tomorrow. Yeah, a lot of trade chatter today about those numbers out tomorrow from the USDA. These aren't formal projections, but they are part of the USDA Ag Outlook Forum here going on this week. And basically, if we just look at expectations for corn and soybean acres, traders are expecting 92 to 93 million acres of corn reported planted, 78.5 to 85.5 million acres of beans. Quite a bit of variability in the soybean expectations there, and you combine that with already very tight soybean stocks. I think the real surprises may come from the soybean market in tomorrow's action. But like I said, a report that's been getting a lot of attention, and we'll help keep you posted on that here on GrainTV after those numbers come out tomorrow morning. Just a reminder here, now that we do have the Ag Outlook Forum going on, that means planting season is right around the corner, and we have a great mobile trading app that lets you get live quotes from Chicago in the cab of your planter this planting season. It's available now for the iPhone, Android, iPad, or tablet. Visit us over at grainhedge.com. You can take a no-obligation demo and see if that trading platform is something that would help your operation this planting season. As always, if you have questions, give us a call, 877-472-4607. Thanks a lot for joining us here on GrainTV. We'll see you tomorrow to break down those USDA Ag Outlook numbers.